This video is going to look at data in research methods. So on the specification, you've got to know about quantitative and qualitative data, what's primary and secondary data. We've got to know how to compute certain things, so how to do ratios, fractions, percentages, significant figures. We've also got to look at descriptive statistics, so what are mean, median, mode and range. So the first thing we're going to look at is quantitative data. Now quantitative data is any data that can be counted, and it's usually given in numbers. The strength of this, well, it's really easy to analyze. We can turn it into a graph, we can do data analysis and statistical tests with it, and we can make comparisons easily between groups. However, a weakness of it is numbers lack depth, they lack detail. We don't know how people are feeling or their thoughts when they just give us a score. Qualitative data, on the other hand, is expressed in words and not numbers. Now, the strengths of this is it's very detailed. We can get people's thoughts and feelings. But weakness is it becomes very difficult to analyse. And also, researchers' opinions could have an impact. When you're starting to analyse a load of interview scripts or diaries, for example, the researcher might have a bit of bias about what he records or what she records or what they don't record. When we talk about primary data in psychology, this is data that's been collected for the purpose of the research. The researcher collects it first-hand. It's the first-hand responses of the participants. Now, a strength of this is it suits the aim of the research and should really be more useful for the research team because they're the ones who are collecting it. A weakness, on the other hand, is this takes a lot of time and effort. You're going to have to set up an experiment. You're going to have to run interviews in order to gather that data from participants. Secondary data, on the other hand, is collected by someone else. It already exists before the researcher conducts their research. So the analysis has already been done by somebody else. Now this could be from a book, website, government, police, statistics, anywhere where you're gathering data that someone else has collected. Now the strengths of this sort of data are it's quick. As the data is already there, it's already available. You're not having to run your own experiment or study. But a weakness is you can't be sure of the quality of the data. You didn't conduct it yourself. So it may not have been conducted in the best way possible. And also, if you're using government or police statistics, they may well be out of date by the time you start to use them. Now, descriptive statistics. We've got lots of different types. We've got how data is spread out, and we've also got different types of averages. And there's a range of ways to describe data. It could be looking at the range, the mean, the median, or the mode. They're the ones we're going to focus on in this video. Now the range tells us about how spread out data is. Did people score similarly, so is there a low range, or were the results really spread out? And that would give us a high range for that data set. Now what you've got to do to work out the range is arrange all of the data in order. So you get all your numbers, you put them all in order, and then you take away the highest and the lowest scores. Now, a strength of the range is it's a really quick and easy way for us to see how spread out the data is. But one weakness is it can be affected by extreme scores. If someone scores extremely lowly or extremely highly, that's going to have a real big impact on the range. Now, the last thing we've got to look at is averages. So we've got mean, median and mode. Now the mean is where we add up all the values and we divide it by that total number of scores. The median, we put all of the values in order and we find that middle number. And we've also got the mode where we're looking for the most common number. Now on your specification, you've also got to know strengths and weaknesses of each of these. And there's a nice easy way to do this. If we look at the mean, the strength is it includes all the values. So it's the most sensitive measure and the most sensitive average because it includes all the data. Whereas the weakness of the median and the mode is they're both less sensitive. They don't include all of the values. Whereas a weakness of the mean is it can be affected by extreme scores. If someone scores extremely highly, that's going to affect the mean. Whereas the median and mode are not affected by those extreme scores because we're not using all of the data.